Hey everybody, welcome back to Suckless Saturday. It's Neil and Stephanie. We're going to continue talking about why we think that timers are important. You don't have to have one, but I think you should.
You need a shot timer because that which gets measured gets worked on. The Range Tech Timer is the official timer of Active Self-Protection because it is versatile, reliable, feature-rich, and very economical. Check out all it can do at the link below.
All right, Steph, so let's continue this conversation about timers and why it's important.
Right, I'm gonna try to make this a short video. I get really passionate about this and keep talking, but this is a really simple topic this week. Why timers? Why? We have several videos coming up with short reasons why a timer could be helpful or is helpful in each one. And the first one is timers give you data to help you improve. And if you're into pistol craft for whatever reason, for defensive uses, because it's fun, because you like, to plink around with your family and play reindeer games on your property, or competitive shooting or whatever, being better is more better. And you can't improve if you don't know where you're at. It's really easy to lose track of small improvements over time that actually become very big improvements, and you get discouraged because you don't really realize how far you've improved because it's happened so slowly, or you just absolutely don't know where you are, so you really haven't improved. You've been very stagnant, or you've even gone back, but you just have no idea where you're at. You cannot, what gets measured is valuable to us and gives us data, and then we can improve that. If you're not measuring it, I would suggest it's not actually important to you. And that it makes it very difficult to improve if you don't even know where you're at.
And I'll add to that, it could be that it's not important to you, or it could be that it scares us.
Oh, yeah, we did talk about that quite a bit.
And another one that something that's scary for people like me is stepping on a scale.
Oh, it's
now I have a scale. It's sitting upstairs, and I could step on it every day if I wanted to. But some days I'm like, I don't want to step on that thing. This is a similar thing.
Right.
Now I had a great conversation with another person in the industry who believes a little differently than I do about timers, and he gets to have his vote in how he feels, and I get to have mine. But he brought up a great point for himself. Was, listen, I live very healthy. I eat right, so I only step on a scale a couple times a year because my clothes, how they fit, tell me how it works and all that stuff. That's a great point.
Also, still getting measured if he's measuring it by his clothes.
That's true.
But yes.
However, the point that came to me was, listen, I don't have that ability to live that cleanly. I like my Reese's peanut butter cups. And Doritos, and all of the other stuff that goes with that. And we have a little bit different lifestyle than this person does, and I have nothing but respect for that point of view and to be able to do that. But he's like, yeah, I step on a scale a couple times a year. I use a timer a couple of times a year to confirm. I get that's okay, but if you don't have the that strict lifestyle that says, listen, I am going to do my dry fire religiously every single day, then you do ultimately have to test that. You do ultimately have to see where you are. When you get to a certain level, for sure, I think that you can test yourself a little bit less and a little bit less. A couple times a year seems low for me because I would want to know where I am and how I'm getting better. And so that's one of the things that it just comes to mind when you say that. Either we don't want to, or we're scared of it.
Yep.
And we
and
have
frankly,
to do that.
to have a level of honesty here, this is something that we are super passionate about, that we find a great deal of benefit in, but nothing can get us away from the dirty little secret that a ton of defensive encounters every year involve people that are absolutely not trained, that might not even know that shot timers exist, that have never stepped into a classroom. All of this is true. Those people are able to defend themselves quite well with no training, without a shot timer.
Oh, Steph, I step into gun shops that don't know what timers are.
Yeah, so
it's not just that somebody out there might not know what a shot timer is.
Yeah.
A lot of people out there don't know what a shot timer is.
And they could defend themselves very well. And we're coming at this from a defensive point of view. But what we're also trying to say is, if you're watching these training videos, likely you are someone that is trying to strive to get better and to improve, and data drives improvement. It really gives you, the more data you have, the better decisions you can make about where you're at and what you're doing. And I think that is really huge. And no, you don't need it. But we're giving you a list of reasons why they are helpful so you can make the best decision for you. And I think one of the best ones, one of the most obvious ones, is it gives you data for improvement. Once you know where you are, you can decide where you want to be and plan a path to get there. Very, very simple.
Yeah, I think it adds a level of ease and improvement, and because you added additional tools to your toolbox to get there a little more quickly and accurately. And so if I am just doing my dry fire and I'm just going as fast as I possibly can, and I'm not using something like a timer and maybe a camera on myself, I may not know.
Just clicking while you're watching TV,
yeah,
whatever.
you know, and
That's not
I think a lot of people do that. Just sit there and come back to the whole safety side of that thing. Put that away. There's nothing wrong with learning what your trigger is, as long as you're doing it safely. But at the end of the day, if you're not measuring it, you're not getting better. And one of the things that I really think a tool that has helped me a lot is the Mantis.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up because it almost gamifies dry fire.
It really does.
While exactly like a timer, it's not necessary for dry fire. It's not necessary to have any of these tools to improve. I feel like it can cut almost years off of that learning curve, because you start out with, well, I guess I'm just going to sit here and pull my trigger and watch TV and feel my trigger feels like that's dry fire. It's not, but that's where you start, and you have no idea how to get to where it is. And the Mantis, like I said, I guess it almost feels like it gamifies it in a way. It gives you a path, it gives you drills, it gives you the information that, oh, I can improve that.
And it breaks things up. And so then we can do what we call micro drills.
That's a whole nother video.
That's a whole nother video, but that's the thing about the timer. If we can time certain aspects of what we do, it gives us data. It's no different than, I'm getting ready to head out on a trip, and I need to be at the airport at 4 o'clock, so I know what time I have to be on the road.
And you have to check
based
your
on how
watch.
fast I'm going and how far I'm driving and the weather and all that kind of stuff. All that data makes it important that I get there on time and I do it right and safely. This is the same thing. This is data to help you improve, and if you can gather some data, you can improve.
What about an assignment? Because I think that one is pretty self-explanatory.
Well, I think for this week, I think we need to go back to, a couple, 3 weeks ago, we had them, go get your par timer on your cell phone. If you still are using that, go back and do that again and give yourself an idea of what your true blue draw to first shot is, and this one's going to take a little bit more time. So you're going to draw and get those times. So set your par time wherever you feel like you are, and you get the 10 perfect ones and write them down. Write down where you are with those 10, and then go down a little bit and write down how many of the 10, if you went from, and I'm just using round numbers here, but if you go from the 1.5 second to the 1.3 second, how many of the 10 were perfect? Write it down. And then go to 1.1 seconds and write it down and get an idea of where you are and give yourself that data to figure that out. Now, if you do that every day this week and pull the trigger, what's that going to be, 30 times, you're going to find some data, you're going to find some trends, and then now with the data, now we can go start breaking down, okay, what is the micro drill that you need to be working on? And maybe we add a camera to that a few weeks down the road, but that's the assignment, is write down how many out of 10 were perfect shots where you saw your sights, pressed your trigger, the sight stayed on the target that you were on, and you hit the par time that you had set. And that you can do all that in dry fire. Now, if you want, you can go out to the range and you can do this thing live fire as well, and you can write down all 30 times your draws to first shot and what your score was on the target. So use like a B8 and track those shots. Give yourself some data to figure out where you are.
This is where I am.
And then you can start a plan to get to where you want to be. And maybe you are already there. Maybe you're going to be thrilled with where you are and you're happy. Understand it's a perishable skill, so it might go backwards if you just stop and say, well, I'm happy with my 1.2 second draws first shot. They're all 10 rings and everything's great, which is pretty fine and good depending on your distance, of course. But understand that may degrade over time and it could potentially go away. So,
but it does help you come up with, maybe I just need a maintenance plan. I'm perfectly happy with where I am. Or maybe I can add some more things. Can I do that one-handed? Can I do that kneeling? Can I do that moving? Can I do a couple of, but you have to start by finding out where you are and gathering data.
Yeah, and it should not be a full-time or even a part-time job. This is not, this is, at the end of the day, this is a passion. It's a hobby for some. It's a game. It's a job for a few of us, for sure, but don't turn it into a job. If it turns into something you don't enjoy, then you're not going to have much fun with it. That's why I like the Mantis, is the groups and all that kind of stuff makes it kind of fun, and then you can, get a screenshot of your best stuff, whatever it's the draw to first shot or the holster stuff or whatever, go out and post it and do that kind of stuff and send it off to your friends. That's kind of fun. But at the end of the day, if it gets to be where it's work and you're not enjoying it, on your worst day, you may have decided it wasn't worth it to carry your gun that day, and those are really bad days for folks. So, that's the assignment. Write it down.
Go gather some data.
Go gather some data. Have some fun. Come share it with us in the Ask Dry Fire Challenge on Facebook. We love having people put that stuff in there. It's a good time. You'll see some of the challenges that we do. We do live fire challenges in there as well, where you have to go to the range and shoot, this silly little drill and have some fun. We like to have some fun there, but it's really all about getting better. So come join us. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.